Hi, this is Rob Leo, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can integrate Google Drawings into a Google Doc. In this example, we're drawing the social pyramid of power, so to speak, for traditional societies around the world for a social studies class. I've already got the list of terms I want students to label this pyramid with. I'm looking at Hindu India, Han China, and medieval Europe. Directions say for each region below, label the pyramid of power to show the traditional social hierarchy for each. Double click the image to edit it. Now I don't have an image yet. I'm going to insert that next. To do so, I'm going to go to Insert and select Google Drawings. And you'll notice you can either create from scratch right here within your Google Doc, or you can already pre-create one from Google Drive. If you do go to Google Drive and want to pre-create, you can just click the New button, hover over More, and select Google Drawings. And when you do so, you'll have a pretty full editor compared to just inserting a drawing from scratch within your document. I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to click New, and you'll see that the editor is a little bit less robust compared to the full editor that you see with File, Edit, View, Insert, etc. on a Google drawing that you create directly from Google Drive. So again, starting with Google Docs and inserting the drawing, mine is pretty simple, so this is satisfactory for me. I'm going to select the Shapes tool, pick a triangle, and just with my mouse draw that on the screen. If it's not perfect, that's fine. You can always expand it and adjust the way that it looks. If you want to make it larger, you can drag the bottom corner. And you'll notice by default, it's filled with a blue background. I'm just going to select that and make it transparent. My next step is to add some lines to this triangle to represent the different social classes that I want students to label. And you'll notice that there is a line editor. You can click different types of lines. There's lines, arrows, connectors, etc. I'm going to pick the basic line editor. I'm going to select the color. And in fact, black is good enough for this example. And I'm also going to select the weight of the lines. I'll pick 3-point font so it stands out. Let me undo that because I actually have selected the shape itself. I want the line editor. So let's start with just drawing a line. You'll notice it gets kind of funky how you can drag this across the screen, but there's a little trick you can incorporate. And let me show you what I mean by that. Let me undo this line. I'm going to hold down my Shift key and just line the crosshair up and draw so it's straight. And I'll do that several times over. Now that I've drawn one, you can see that the border weight option now appears. We'll make this 3-point font. And when I want to, when I want to move it, I'm going to return to my mouse and just move it in place how I want to move it. And like I said, I'm going to do this several times over. So again, we'll draw another line. Again, I'm using the Shift key to make sure that it's straight. And I think I need one more at least. And if I want to edit each one, again, I'm going to select it. I mentioned the border weight. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to select the whole thing and make the border weight for everything 3-point font. That way it looks consistent. And I'm pretty satisfied with the way this looks. My next step is to just add some text boxes for the students to label stuff. So here's my text box editor. I'm going to insert a text box. And to make it obvious for students that this is in fact a text box, I'm going to put a border around this as well. I'm going to select 1-point font for that. And I'm just going to copy this text box several times over. I'm using the keyboard shortcut Control-C to copy and the keyboard shortcut Control-V to paste several times over. And I'll just drag these down into the space where I'd like them to be. Now that I'm set up, I can simply save and close, and that will insert my drawing into my document. The next step is to do this again for Han China and again for medieval Europe. Medieval Europe is going to be an easy one because I can just copy and paste. Let's say I select this drawing, I'm simply going to copy it and paste it in. We'll do the same thing for Han China, except for Han China, you notice I only have 4 options. So I'm going to double click the picture and I'm going to get rid of one of these lines and I'm going to get rid of one of the text boxes. We'll move this up and adjust the blue dots. move this one up and do the same thing. I'm not holding the shift key for this one. I'll move this one up slightly, same thing. And that looks good enough for this exercise. Again, we'll move these so they fit in each space as appropriate. And we'll save and close. And now we have an interactive Google Doc that students can, in fact, label so that they can demonstrate that they understand how the social hierarchy of ancient societies happen to work. This can now be shared via Google Classroom, make a copy for every student, they can each edit. And again, when it comes time to actually labeling the images, they can't just click here because it just selects the image. They would double click, and inside each text box, they would double click to type. Once they save and close that, the image has been updated, and now you can see their answers. Thanks for listening, and I hope you found this useful.